Greetings and salutations, Mega Wizard 79 here with another episode of Skyrim. So, in our last episode, we fought all our way through the castle catacombs, stole into the gardens, which were completely sealed off by her father apparently, because he hates that place that much, and found our way into her mother's inner sanctum, her laboratory, if you will. I really want to go and check what's out there, because I'm pretty sure we're going to end up going down there, maybe? But in any event, I've already looted this place completely clean off camera. There wasn't really much to show, you know, it's just, for the most part, the things that are really important are these key items right here. Let's see if I can find them. This finely ground bone meal, which I found over here on this table with all the pieces of bone and all that, you know, the troll skull, the human skulls, the elk, I want to say that's an elk, and then dragon bones, so that was there. Then there was also the, where is it, then there was purified void salt, which was right, oh wait, no, it wasn't up here, it was down there. With all the chemical
Keep
stuff.
searching for her notes. She probably had a journal or something.
Yeah, it's the one book that I left over there. Just give me a minute. Alright, so... Actually, no, maybe it was up there. Oh, missed that. Anyway, no, I guess it wasn't down here. It was probably up here. Yeah, that's right, it was over here. Yeah, right here in this bowl right here. That's where that was. And then over here in this soul gem container. Actually no, it was in this thing. Yeah, it was inside this thing right here with all the soul shards. So inside of that, I found this soul gem shards. So I assume, because, you know, they're in my miscellaneous, they are key items, so I don't need that. Anyway, but yeah. I assume that basically they are required to probably completing whatever ritual will most likely unlock this. Alright, and this is the journal right here. I mean, you can usually tell journals, I mean, well, obviously it'll say journal, but it also just looks like this. Okay, so let's see, how long is this? Not that long. Let's, there you go, let's just take our time, shall we? 27th last seed. Harkin's short-sightedness is becoming a serious problem. I've warned him time and time again that his foolish prophecy would cast far too much light on our people, and yet he refuses to so much as listen to a word I say. I've become less a wife and more of an annoyance in his eyes. Devoting attention to my work is the only solace I can find while enduring his ridiculous crusade. 28th last seed. I've had a breakthrough today. I was able to attune the portal vessel to the soul cairn properly by using a small sample of ingredients. Although the portal opened only for a few seconds, I'm confident that with the proper formula, it can be sustained indefinitely. I feel like I'm missing a key ingredient, something of sufficient potency that can resist the forces trying to prevent my intrusion. Communing with the ideal masters has proved worthless. They speak in riddles and offer no assistance whether I ensure them a steady supply of souls or not. If I'm to escape Harkin's clutches, I need to keep the portal open long enough to carry me away from here, forever if need be. 3rd, Hearthfire. I've done it! After wasting thousands of gold coins on components, I've discovered how to sustain the portal. I'm listing the components below without the proper amount for my own protection. As a secondary precaution, I am combining my own blood into the formula, which should prevent anyone from being able to duplicate it and follow me into the soul cairn. The formula consists of finely ground bone meal, purified void salt, soul gem shards. Using the proper measurements, place the above in the silver-lined portal vessel and add blood as a reactive agent. I will make my way into the soul cairn tomorrow after I gather my things and prepare for a potentially lengthy exile. More importantly, I must enact my plans with Serana and get her to Dim Hollow Crypt as soon as possible. Right, I need to pick it up. Okay. Okay, so, seeing as how... I would assume that because since she has half of her mother's blood, it would probably, like, that's probably the blood sample we're gonna need from her, most likely. That's usually how these things work. Though, because it's only half of her blood, I wonder if the portal will sustain itself. Oh well, we'll see.
Any luck yet? Not that I ever saw. My mother had a bit of a thing for magical constructs. Not what you're thinking. She just found them fascinating. You did? Let me see them. I only know what she told me. She had a theory about soul gems, that the souls inside of them don't just vanish when they're used. They end up in the soul cairn. The soul cairn is home to very powerful beings. Necromancers send them souls and receive powers of their own in return. My mother spent a lot of time trying to contact them directly, to travel to the soul cairn itself. That circle in the center of the room is definitely some type of portal. If I'm reading this right, there's a formula here that should give us safe passage into the soul cairn. A handful of soul gem shards, some finely ground bone meal, a good bit of purified void salts. Oh, damn it. We're also going to need a sample of her blood, which, if we could get that, we wouldn't even be trying to do this in the first place. Not bad. We'd better hope that's good enough. Mistakes with these kind of portals can be gruesome. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get started. Oh, good. Well then, let's head over to the portal vessel and I'll do the rest.
Right then. So, just a little background information on the Soul Cairn and the Ideal Masters. So, the Ideal Masters, these, they are Daedra. Just straight up. Just like Clavicus Vile, just like Moloch Ball, just like Azura. They are incredibly powerful Daedric lords. I don't think they're considered princes, which are their own category, but they're still incredibly powerful individuals. Now then, you see, this is why... Okay, so... Where is it? Okay, so soul gems. You see, specifically black ones, anyway, if I would assume. But then again, I think, No, it's all soul gems. All soul gems work this way. So, you see, soul gems, whenever you use one, the soul inside it will go to the Ideal Masters. Black soul gems, essentially they do the exact same thing, but since this is more used for necromantic purposes because of the fact that you are literally trapping a black soul, i.e. a person, a soul of an actually sentient, intelligent individual, like me, like you, like Saren, for example. Like, this is why you can't soul trap vampires, even in Grand Soul Gems, because they're considered black souls, not white souls. White souls are basically anything else that is not considered sentient. Spiders, wolves, trolls, basically anything that is considered, oddly enough, even giants. Even though technically giants are sentient, at least sentient enough that they do have a culture, but I guess they don't qualify. But in any event, though. So, oh, sorry. But yes, in any event, though. Long story short, the Ideal Masters, essentially, if you give basically the way you give them souls and they give you, power in exchange, a little tit for tat. It's the same reason, it's the reason why, essentially we do it on a lesser scale when we are enchanting weapons and whatnot, essentially the soul is getting transferred to the Ideal Master, and in exchange, they are empowering the, item to facilitate whatever goal you had in mind. So then, basically, that's the long and short of it about the Ideal Masters and the Soul Karen. The Soul Karen is their Daedric realm. It is in Oblivion. They have complete and total mastery over it. What do you call it? Like, it's kind of funny, really. It's because, you see, Soul Gems, uh, they're not, how do I put this? Like, you see, Daedric princes like Clavicus Vile or Molag Bal, beings like that, they will actually give you better deals if you offer them souls. Like, for example, Molag Bal, you know, he basically wants to fill his realm with basically, you know, just the souls of people. Same thing with Clavicus Vile. You know, Clavicus Vile, for no one really knows why he's doing it. With Molag Bal, at least we know why he's doing it. He's doing it because he wants to ravage everybody. With Clavicus Vile, it's not so transparent. But that's the best way to get a deal with Clavicus Vile, to offer him souls. You know, basically some people go, well, why can't he just use soul gems to basically trap souls? And there's, well, because soul gems will, when you use up the soul gem, it won't go to him. It will go to the Ideal Masters. That's why, you know, basically that's why, you know, for the most part, you know, Clavicus Vile can't just go around and just, you know, use soul trap to basically place souls inside soul gems and then keep the soul gem. No, because the minute he uses the soul gem, the soul goes to the Ideal Masters, not him. That's just how it works. That's how soul gem technology essentially, that's how it's programmed to be anyway. But yeah, anyway, that's pretty much the most of it. So let's see. I guess I gotta put it up there. I figured it'd be over here, but alright.
Get the ingredients in that vessel and let me know when you're ready.
There we go.
And
Alright.
the rest is up to me. Are you ready to go? I'm not entirely sure what this thing is going to do when I add my blood.
Alright. Before we do that, I really just want to know, what is beyond this door? I mean, it says balcony, so just wondering. Are you kidding me? This is its own location? Son of a gun, it's its own look. Ah, I see what you did there. You clever. And look, there's literally no way to get back into the castle. Okay, I see what you did there, Bethesda. That's actually very smart. As a matter of fact, I'm going to use this little advantage. Bear with me for a minute. If I had known this were the case, I would have done this off camera, but, well, as you have clearly seen, due to my inventory, I'm full to burst. So, I'm just gonna drop some stuff off at my house and then just pour it on back over there. Wow. They literally made the entire balcony its own warping point. Like, how does that even work? How do you fast travel to a balcony? How do you fast travel from a balcony? Oh my goodness. Anyway. Alright, let's just drop all this junk off and then head back to Celine. Serena. Or Serana, I think. Vampire chick. Let's just call her Vampire chick. Okay. Let's just dump all this stuff in here. Drop that. Those. That. I'll drop those for now. Yeah, I was carrying these because, you see, when you go back to, your house after a little while, your kids will sometimes ask you if you brought them a gift or something. I was trying to see if I could basically give those to, my daughter character. Sophia. Sophia, sorry. But yeah, I figured, cause you see, what do you call it? Because her character used to be a vendor, before I adopted her, she has a ton, and I mean a ton, of, Like you see, she carries around these little baskets that she places her. Man, that looks really cool. Oh, but it's heavy though. I'd like to use it, to be honest. There we go. Alright, but yeah, she carries around this Yep, can't drop that. Alright, but yeah, she carries around these she carries around this basket, and every time her inventory reloads, yeah, because she's a vendor, the inventory reloads itself. When it reloads, it ends up creating a whole new basket. So, according to some forums, she can have up to 44 baskets, depending on how many times her inventory has reloaded. And at 0.5 pounds a piece, that would be at least 25 pounds. So, yeah. That's a lot of baskets. Let's see. And I might as well just drop potions that I'm not even going to use. Okay, I think this should be light enough. I'm thinking about maybe holding on to this. Maybe I'll play around with it or something. I don't know. Let's see, anything here that I don't want? I don't want that. Yeah, I don't need that. Yeah, I'll leave that too. And that. Because I'm not going to be doing any bartering, so I don't need it. Alright. I think that should be good for now. Yep. There we go. Alright. Let's head back out. Oh, screw you. I can hear it. I can hear it in the background. A dragon. There we go. Alright. Doosh. Oh, what the bloody. Ah, the angling. Alright, back to the balcony. Ooh, well, I was gonna say I'm pretty close to level 60, but I'm not. I'm still a ways away. Anyway, but at least I know I can always go back to those silly towers, like in the garden, those two doors that I didn't bother going through. Well, I went through one of them, but for the most part, that just looked like a place I could go into just to get some random loot at best. What's in this? Oh. Okay. Okie doke. Think we're ready?
Then the rest is up to me. Are you ready to go? I'm not entirely sure what this thing is going to do when I add my blood. Of course. What is it? I've been asking myself the same thing since we came back to the castle. She was so sure of what we did to my father. I couldn't help but go along with her. I never thought of the cost. Possibly. I guess even a vampire mother is still a mother. She worried about me. About all of us. But she wanted to get me as far away from my father as possible before he really went over the edge.
I think he's already there.
Yes, you're right. I'm sorry. I just didn't expect anyone to care how I felt about her. Thank you. Are we ready then?
I find it funny that I'm even I mean, I'm just, exploring these dialogue trees just because, well, I like listening to dialogue. But to be honest, basically, since I'm not single anymore, because you see, if you finish this quest line, and like I said, there are some things I know about this quest line, and one thing that I do know is if she ends up surviving at the end, you can actually romance her. She is a romance option. So, just kind of funny that it's like, I mean, to be honest, my character is very friendly as it is, so it's not like she's breaking character by doing this. But still, it's just, to be honest, realistically, since I'm not trying to get on her good side to try and woo her, I guess I sometimes question, I guess I'm wondering why I'm actually doing this.
Alright. Yes, you're right. I'm sorry. I just didn't expect anyone to care how I felt about her. Thank you. Are we ready then? Alright, here goes.
Let's see if she cuts. Oh!
By the blood of my ancestors. She actually did it. Created a portal with a soul cairn. Incredible.
Amazing. It looks just like the portal to Alduin's. I mean, to Dawnguard, doesn't it?
Incredible. Simply incredible. The soul cairn is a tiny sliver of oblivion, the realm of the Daedra. It's ruled by unseen beings known as the Ideal Masters. Honestly, I don't know. Necromancers are always interested in souls, though, so that probably has some kind of interest. Nobody really knows. As far as I've heard, no one's seen them and returned to Tamriel to tell about it. I've read stories. Stories about fools that manage to communicate with them. You give the Ideal Masters souls, they give you powers to summon the undead. It's all very businesslike. Because most of the stories end with the Ideal Masters duping the Necromancers, who end up dead or wishing they were dead. I'm ready when you are.
That's usually how it works. Yeah, to us, we're nothing but toys to the Daedra. Speak to her?
Are you alright? That looked painful.
Ah.
Now that I think about it, I should have expected that. Sorry. It's hard to describe. The soul cairn is... well, hungry, for lack of a better word. It's trying to take your life essence as payment. There might be, but I don't think you're going to like it. Vampires aren't counted among the living. I could probably go through there without a problem. Not your first choice, I'd guess? Maybe. We could just pay the toll another way. It wants a soul, so we give it a soul. Yours. My mother taught me a trick or two. I could partially soul trap you and offer that gem to the Ideal Masters. It might be enough to satisfy them. It would make you a bit weaker when we travel through the soul cairn, but we might be able to fix that once we're inside. Maybe.
Oh boy. I'm pretty sure if I was a vampire, this wouldn't be an issue, but oh well.
I'm sorry. I wish I knew a better way, something that would be easier for you. Just know that whatever path you choose, I won't think any less of you. Sometimes things just have to be done. I know that better than anybody.
Become a vampire or become partially soul trapped. Ah, why? Oh well. Obviously, you guys know which one I'm picking.
Have you made up your mind? Are you sure? I'm willing to do it, but you need to think it through. You'll remain mortal, but you'll find yourself weakened within the soul cairn. I know this is difficult for you. I hope you trust me. I'd never do anything that could hurt you.
That's, okay. alright. I get it. We've been through a lot. I was kind of the first thing you met when you came out of your little hibernation. Maybe you imprinted like a puppy, I suppose. But don't you think that's kind of strong to say after only being... I mean, heck, you're a lot more open than you really should be. And you're... I mean... you guys see what I mean, though? It's like there's good writing, and then there's just like, at some point they just give up. This is kind of somewhere in between. Well, I mean, I've come this far, so to say anything other than this would be a lie.
Thank you. Let's not waste any more time then. I promise to make this as painless as possible. Hold still.
Don't worry. This is actually the second time this has happened to me. Alright. I became partially soul trapped, so let's see. What did this do to me? Where's the... my stats look all the same. I don't know. Whatever. Let's just go. But yeah, that kind of makes sense, just because of the fact that, technically speaking, you shouldn't be able to enter the soul cairn unless you're a soul. Yeah, it's kind of in the name.
The air, the ground, this is all wrong.
Well, we're in a Daedric realm. What did you expect?
Look at this place. I can't imagine choosing to come here. My mother must have been terrified.
Wow. I mean, look at this.
Look at the sky. What kind of place is this?
Oblivion. We are in Oblivion. Ooh. Yes! Cool! New alchemical ingredients to play around with. Oh, it's food? Interrupts soul drain effect in the soul cairn. Resist 10% of magic for 10 seconds. Huh. Guess I should probably stock up on these. Where's she? Oh. Okie doke. Right. You remind me of something I don't like.
Let's keep moving.
You
I feel
better
like we're
not.
being watched.
You think?
I miss the warm sunshine, green grass, blue skies. I miss being alive.
Well, at least you're aware that you're dead. That's progress. My question is, how the hell did a skeleton get here? Whoa. Careful. Look at that! Dragon skeleton! What the heck? That makes no sense. A dragon skeleton should have no business being here because dragon souls are tied to Mundus. They can't leave.
I can't imagine choosing to come here. My mother must have been terrified.
Madness. It was madness to attack that coven of witches. Why didn't they listen to me?
Why didn't they listen to me? Wow.
At least the pain is gone.
Well, a certain kind of pain. But, yeah, Dragon Souls, they can't leave Mundus. It's impossible. They're literally tied to the fate of that planet. It's literally, it's just how it works. They can't leave. What the heck is this thing? Yeesh. Hello. I'll take that.
Where'd you come from?
Uh-oh.
stories about the Soul Cairn, but never thought I'd see it myself. So far, it's about what I imagined.
What's over here? Ooh, more soul gems. I mean, makes sense. We are in the Soul Cairn. Okay, where are you? I can hear you. Whatever, fine. Alright. Weird, though. Supposedly I should be weaker, but... weaker how? Like... Ah, here we go. Health, magicka, and stamina recover slowly while in Soul Cairn and are reduced by 45 points. Ooh. Honestly, that's not too bad. I was expecting far worse. I mean, the regen might end up biting me in the ass at some point, but to be honest, the raw numbers, they're not that terrible. And it doesn't really look like most of the things here are tough. Yet. I mean, yeah, well, it could be worse. It could be much worse. They could have actually reduced all my stats by 10.
You must help me find my Arvak. He doesn't deserve to be in a place like this. Arvak, my horse. We came to this horrible place together. We were attacked by monsters, so I told him to run. Please, he's such a loyal creature, and he's been running for so long. You have to save him. A place like this will change you. Arvak? Arvak! Where are you? Arvak, please come back! Come back!
Well. Well then.
I miss the warm sunshine, green grass, blue skies. I miss being alive.
Where'd you come from?
Okay, you're much tougher. There we go.
We're done.
Alright. Yay! Black soul
Look at this
gems.
place. I can't imagine choosing to come here. My mother must have been terrified.
Quickly stifled by the sound of over 100 wings, rising from the Fioed was an entire colony of cliff racers, and they were out for blood. The blasted thing had led me right to their nest and sacrificed itself with the intent of feeding me to its brood. It was a trap. The damn things had become much too clever. Knowing this was likely the end, I jumped down from the slit strider and hit the back of its leg with the... Huh. Well, I know what this is, actually. That is one piece of the magnum opus of a specific NPC that we're going to be running into soon. You see, he wants us to collect these pieces of his life, so to speak. And,
Where'd you come from?
no, why did I use that? Okay. But yeah, there's this, okay. But yeah, there's this, there's a soul in here. He's a powerful Dunmer warrior who you actually met in Morrowind. He was actually this random character that you met when you were getting off the boat for the first time. His whole bit is that he actually ended up fighting more than 70 cliff racers on the side of Red Mountain for 2 days straight without any rest, and just when death was about to take him, Lord Vivek came, saved the guy, and offered to make him a saint for his heroic deeds. And it's all true. It is all 100% true. He actually did all of that. It's actually quite impressive. What's really what's kind of sad though about his story is that during the Oblivion Crisis, he actually got killed. You see, he actually came to Kvatch to help defend the city, and he ended up getting killed. And this one Daedra bound his soul to a soul gem and offered it to the Ideal Masters. So he's trapped here just like all the others. Oh. Take that and that. Take this. Hey, here's another. I am a hunter. I am Redeemer. I am Geob. The tale of my rise to glory begins in the ash wastes of Morrowind. I rode alone, weapon at my side, and the burning wind stinging my face. My quest was arduous, but necessary to ensure the survival of the Dunmer people. A pestilence was creeping across the ashlands.
I miss the warm sunshine.
Okay, you just keep saying the same
Green
thing.
grass, blue skies. I miss being alive.
I have to say, this is a kind of fun place to explore, huh? Anyway. Man, there's so many soul gems and everything. Alright. Well, we saw a chest behind him, so let's just head over here. Pick it up. Nice. That one was a filled gem. Man, this place is so big. Oh well. I mean, I could explore this later in my free time. You're just gonna say the same thing, aren't you?
I must return to the frontline Alessian headquarters at once. Lives are hanging in the balance.
Okay. At least that's new. So that guy was probably a soldier. Might as well have that quest equipped. Horses like carriages. What is that sound? Oh.
Well, look what we have here. Someone with flesh on their bones. Let's just say I sold something to a guy who turned out to work for a whole coven of necromancers. How in the name of Zenithar was I to know the ingredients were phony? Do I look like someone that would double-cross a necromancer? You got it. Horse, wagon, and all. Plopped here without so much as a word. I used to be one of the best traders in High Rock, you know. How people would track me down just to see what I had for sale. Very funny. And what exactly are you going to pay me with? Take a look around. Gold doesn't exactly win you any friends around here. I'll tell you what. I appreciate what you're trying to do, so I'll play along. The only thing I see around here in abundance are soul husks. You know, those ugly fungus-looking things growing out of the ground. Bring me, say, 25 of them, and you can rummage through what was left on my cart. Odds and ends I've gathered over the years. Well, used to gather, before all of this nonsense happened to me. Tell me what you're looking for, and maybe we can make a deal, if you have the husks. You still got it, Morven. A salesman even beyond the end.
About to strike me down in anger for my somewhat sordid past. Suddenly I understood everything. Suddenly I realized that I was brought here for a reason. I should have died in those ash wastes, but Lord Vivek must have seen something inside me that that he hadn't seen in millennia and decided to spare me from my fate. Thus began my ascent to sainthood. Thus began the rise of Geob. Okey-doke. Doesn't look like I can open this door. At least not yet. Huh. The heck is this thing? 25 husks, huh? That shouldn't be too hard. I mean, I have like, what, 4 already? 6. Well, let's press onward. I assume that big giant building is our destination. The one constantly getting hit by lightning! Which is hilarious, because it gives a whole new credence to the phrase, lightning doesn't strike the same place twice. Whoa. Yep. Something's here. Alright. No. Hey, that's the horse! Sorry, I meant, there we go. Back here, you coward. Goodbye. Damn it, what the? Sweet mother! Okay. Anyway, damn it, where'd that horse go? It was right here! Whoa. Yeesh. Seriously, dragon bones don't make sense being here. Just saying. Damn it, where did that horse go? He just ran away. Whatever. I guess I'll find it later. I wonder. Nah. I thought I... Oh well. Wow. I'm guessing it's just hitting those corpse piles. I hope. Well, this looks precarious. Anything up here? Doesn't look like it. Wow, this used to be the roof of a house. Or probably a battlement. That looks like a
Mother!
Maker. It can't be. Serana?
Is it really you? I can't believe it. How do we get inside? We have to talk.
Serana, what are you doing here? Where's your father?
He doesn't know we're here. I don't have time to explain.
I must have failed. Harkon's found a way to decipher the prophecy, hasn't he?
No, you've got it all wrong. We're here to stop him. To make everything right.
Wait a moment. You've brought a stranger here? Have you lost your mind?
No, you don't...
You, come forward. I would speak with you. So how has it come to pass that a vampire hunter is in the company of my daughter? It pains me to think you'd travel with Serana under the guise of her protector in an effort to hunt me down.
I saved her from your foolish plan.
Coming from one who murders vampires as a trade, I find it hard to believe your intentions are noble. Serana has sacrificed everything to prevent Harkon from completing the prophecy. I would have expected her to explain that to you. You think I'd have the audacity to place my own daughter in that tomb for the protection of her Elder Scroll alone? The scrolls are merely a means to an end. The key to the tyranny of the sun is Serana herself.
She has to be sacrificed.
When I fled Castle Volkihar, I fled with 2 Elder Scrolls. The scroll I presume you found with Serana speaks of Auriel and his arcane weapon, Auriel's bow. The second scroll declares that the blood of Cold Harbor's daughter will blind the eye of the dragon.
Cold Harbor is Molag Bal's realm.
Like myself, Serana was a human once. We were devout followers of Lord Molag Bal. Tradition dictates the females be offered to Molag Bal on his summoning day. Few survive the ordeal. Those that do emerge as a pure-blooded vampire. We call such confluences the Daughters of Cold Harbor. It was expected of her, just as it was expected of me. Being selected as an offering to Molag Bal is an honor. She wouldn't have dared turn her back on that.
Well, to be honest, it's not like she really would have had a choice anyway. Molag Bal's not the type to take no for an answer. Such is the way of being a rapist.
It's what some call the domain of Molag Bal. His place in oblivion. Now you're beginning to see why I wanted to protect Serana, and why I've kept the other Elder Scroll as far from her as possible. If Harkon obtained Auriel's bow, and Serana's blood was used to taint the weapon, the tyranny of the sun would be complete. In his eyes, she'd be dying for the good of all vampires.
Would she really have to be killed? I mean, you just need her blood. So I assume you just basically take her blood and smear the weapon with it, right? So why would you need all of it?
And how exactly do you plan on stopping him? Have you been listening to me? Like Serana, I'm a pure-blooded vampire. My presence on Tamriel is as much of a danger as hers. You care nothing for Serana, or our plight. Whether or not you've become one of us in order to survive the Soul Cairn, you're still a vampire hunter at heart. You're here because we're abominations in your mind. Evil creatures that need to be destroyed. Serana? This stranger aligns herself with those that would hunt you down and slay you like an animal. Yet I should entrust you to her.
This stranger has done more for me in the brief time I've known her than you've done in centuries.
How dare you? I gave up everything I cared about to protect you from that fanatic you call a father.
Yes, he's a fanatic. He's changed. But he's still my father. Why can't you understand how that makes me feel?
Oh, Serana, if you'd only open your eyes. The moment your father discovers your role in the prophecy, that he needs your blood, you'll be in terrible danger.
So to protect me, you decided to shut me away from everything I cared about. You never asked me if hiding me in that tomb was the best course of action. You just expected me to follow you blindly. Both of you were obsessed with your own paths. Your motivations might have been different, but in the end, I'm still just a pawn to you two. I want us to be a family again. But I don't know if we can ever have that. Maybe we don't deserve that kind of happiness. Maybe it isn't for us. But we have to stop him, before he goes too far. And to do that, we need the Elder Scroll.
I'm sorry, Serana. I didn't know. I didn't see. I've allowed my hatred of your father to estrange us for too long. Forgive me. If you want the Elder Scroll, it's yours. Your intentions are still somewhat unclear to me. But for Serana's sake, I'll assist you in any way that I can. Yes, I've kept it safely secured here ever since I was imprisoned. Fortunately, you're in a position to breach the barrier that surrounds these ruins. You need to locate the tallest of the rocky spires that surround these ruins. At their bases, the barrier's energy is being drawn from unfortunate souls that have been exiled here. Destroy the keepers that are tending them, and it should bring the barrier down. One more word of warning. There's a dragon that calls itself Durnevere roaming the cairn. Be wary of him. The Ideal Masters have charged him with overseeing the Keepers, and will undoubtedly intervene if you're perceived as a threat.
I'm a dragonborn. That dragon's screwed. But still, a dragon shouldn't be allowed here.
When I entered the Soul Cairn, I had intended to strike a bargain with the Ideal Masters, the custodians of this place. I requested refuge in the Soul Cairn, and in exchange, I would provide the Ideal Masters the souls that they craved. If I had foreseen the value they placed on my own soul, I would never have come here. The Ideal Masters unleashed their keepers and sent them to destroy me. Fortunately, I was able to hold them at bay and retreat into these ruins. Unfortunately, yes. Since the keepers weren't able to claim my soul, they had their minions construct a barrier that I'd never be able to breach. Time has very little meaning to me. Consequently, it has little meaning to the Ideal Masters as well. I suppose you could call this the ultimate waiting game, each watching the other to see which will give in.
Unfortunately, the Ideal Masters are borderline gods, so you're kinda out of your, weight class here, miss.
I know very little about them. They're mystic entities that lord over the Soul Cairn, controlling every aspect from its fabric to its appearance. Well, some necromancers believe they are the crystalline structures dotting the Soul Cairn. I believe there's more to it than that. I think they transcend what we perceive as a physical form. Perhaps they were once corporeal beings, but they've obviously reached a point where they no longer require a tangible presence. Conduits, through which the Ideal Masters speak to their underlings and feed on their victims. The Ideal Masters' weakness is their insatiable hunger for pure souls. It's the reason for the Soul Cairn's existence, and the only leverage a necromancer has when bargaining with them. The ability to summon powerful undead guardians, as one would conjure an Atronak or Daedra. However, the majority of necromancers that are foolish enough to enter into a bargain with the Ideal Masters wind up here, as harvested souls. Harkon's vision is a world plunged in eternal darkness, where the vampire can flourish, and never again fear the tyranny of the sun. What he fails to realize is how much attention would be called to our kind if the prophecy came to fruition. If eternal night fell, there are many who wouldn't stand for it. They would raise armies in attempts to return things to normal. The order of the day would be our destruction, until every last vampire was hunted down and eliminated. I do. It's how the vampire has survived for millennia, and the only way we can continue to survive in the future. As you've been traveling in the Soul Cairn, your body has become attuned to it. Let's just say a tiny part of you rubbed off on it, and in its place, a bit of the Soul Cairn filled the void. You should find no difficulty using the portal any longer. Be careful, and keep my daughter safe.
Let's kill those keeper things and get back to the prison.
Keeper things. Okay, so then, I guess we can come and go as we please into this place. Well, yeah. Obviously, there's no map of this place, because it exists outside of the normal game world. But, yeah. Anyway, so we're just gonna leave it off here, and in the next episode, we'll, explore more of this place, and, you know, try and collect the husks, as well as trying to find that blasted horse, which I let get away, and at the same time also dealing with these guardians. But until that time, though, this is Mega Wizard 79 bidding you all adieu.